Scarpins Avenue.
Dan and Ren and Jay will share tales of folks so unaware they lack in grace and sometimes choose the life they choose will make the news. Breaking down each epic fail in Florida, there's half-price bail. I'm happy to say they couldn't make this up. So listen to our podcast jam with co-host Arm and Dan. Bender, don't be a jerk, cause when the music hits the funny hits and we are gonna take you down. Stick around. Make a sound, hunker down, it's Dumb People Town.
Hey, Townies, welcome to another episode of Dumb People Town. Population U.
Population Yang.
Jimmy O Yang, welcome to the show, buddy. How are you?
I'm here, man. I'm happy to be here. This is great to see you guys. Haven't seen y'all in a while.
Great to see you. You've got so many great things happening. First of all, the stand-up special on Amazon, which was amazing. I watched it. And again, we've got a chance to see you work that stuff at the Improv. So good. I'm literally telling everyone, you got Amazon Prime, check out this special. Did you have where'd you shoot it at again?
We shot in Seattle at the Neptune Theater.
It's great theater. It looked beautiful.
It's great.
Beautiful.
Thank you, man. And we try to do a lot to make it look a little different because I know Ali Wong shot hers there and like a few people have shot their specials there.
Yeah.
But we built like a little thrust and I was there, coordinating the colors with the production designer and stuff.
It was great. It had an aesthetic to it.
You.
And one thing that I love just about your stand-up, and I just loved watching you at this special, is you just took your time. Like you take your time with your stuff, and I feel like you're one of those people that gets a ton of laughs in just you're taking a pause. It takes a lot of confidence to put something out there and pause and just let the audience come with you. And you did that so many great times on the special. I loved it.
Thank you so much, man. And I think that's for all of us. When we first start, we're so like, oh, we got to say more. We got to say more. Get the last per seconds, and then you learn. I can still take more time, I think.
Yeah, I feel we feel the same way about our stuff too. But it's all about growing. I thought that this was just a great special, and you got Space Force coming out. I'm so excited about that show. Everyone's talking about it. You got to be pumped about that too.
Super pumped. I mean, just first day on set, it was me, Steve Carell, and John Malkovich. It was quite nerve-wracking.
I can only imagine. Those dudes are incredible.
But man, now we became kind of like a tight little family. Like, so today I'm doing a bunch of Space Force press, and later on we have a game night, Space Force game night.
Cool.
That Netflix put together for all of us. So it's like Steve, John, Lisa, and everyone else.
That's awesome.
And just it's kind of cool, man. It's still the coolness is not lost on me, but I'm stoked to watch it just like everyone else.
Dude, I love it. Well, we believe, and this podcast believes, that the world's getting dumber, which I know you attacked very nicely in your special. And so we get stories sent to us by our fans, and then we're just going to riff on one if you want to jump in with us right here. So, Dan, let's go.
Let's do it. The headline for this: culprit of illegal dumping gets trash returned. So
by illegal dumping, is that someone taking a shit like in the world? Like that? No, but someone illegally dumped a bunch of stuff.
Right, which is a dumb thing to do.
And then they had it all returned.
Only in Dumb People Town would someone be like, I'm taking it all back. Like this is like the trash version of the Goonies, like Corey Feldman with that quarter. I'm taking them all back.
Taking them all back.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? You illegally dump something and then the next day you see it all on your front lawn?
Yeah, you're in like...
I guess,
go ahead.
How much are you dumping? And how, I guess, how much are you dumping and how are they returning it?
That's right.
That's what I'm interested in now.
Right. Because I would want them to return it in a very secretive way so that you feel like you're in some sort of like very environmentally friendly horror movie. Where
a little bit at a time.
Right.
It's like you throw the baseball into the closet and then it comes back with goop on it. And you're like, yeah all right. There's a little vortex from another dimension. You could go classy and just shape all the garbage into the shape of a giant Lexus and put a bow on it and put it in your driveway.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
That's a December to remember.
December to remember. There
December
you go.
to remember.
I do like the horror movie idea because in horror movies, it's always like, I hear some noise. Is that real? Is that real?
Yeah.
And then they're going crazy. And then eventually it is a real ghost. So this is like, I smell some garbage. What's going on? I smell something. And then at the end of the episode when he's sleeping, the guy just gets dumped on with garbage.
Yes,
for sure.
And his friend is like, I thought you illegally dumped that stuff. I thought I did too.
Right. We got rid of that old cauliflower. All right.
The trash is coming from inside the house. All right.
This was sent in by Catherine Tuck at Catherine Lorna. Thank you so much, Catherine, for sending this in. Someone who illegally dumped garbage in Fredericton, which sounds to me like a group of people could not decide on what to name their town, and they just combined.
Fredericksville? No. Well, I like Frederick. Fine. It's Fredericktown.
Fredericton. It's also like maybe they had like a syllable competition in town. Where like we can get one more in there.
I think we can slide that. Let's illegally dump that last syllable.
There you go. Someone who illegally dumped garbage in Fredericton found themselves picking their trash back up earlier this week. Chris White had about 30 to 40 pieces of garbage strewn across the grass in front of his family's farm on Spring Hill Road.
That's a statement. The people who said you dumped it illegally, they're like, we're gonna lay it out. We're gonna lay it out for you.
Toys,
I like that.
An old barbecue burner, and a new barbecue box, which is fitting. You're kind of seeing life come and go.
The cycle of life.
Right.
So it's not like gross garbage bags. It's like stuffed furniture he threw out. You know, in LA, on the sidewalk, you
just leave
see
it.
a mattress.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would love to hunt down those owners and dump it back in their house.
That's
Those
right.
mattresses
Just give
now
it right back
infested
to
with
them.
bugs.
That's right. Mattress out on the sidewalk is like, it depreciates the value of all the houses in that neighborhood immediately.
Yeah. It's always too is like, but there's like no one wants your broken shelves.
Nobody wants your broken shelves. They barely wanted it at your stupid garage sale.
Right.
So when we were in New York, we lived in Manhattan like 94. We had this terrible IKEA bookshelf that we built incorrectly. Let me just say that we built it wrong. Like there were times that Jay and I and our roommate, we'd come back to the apartment and the entire bookshelf was fallen over and all the books were on the floor because it just crushed under the weight of what we had on it. When we moved out of that apartment, and I mean where the TV was, this is back when TVs were heavy and sat in entertainment.
Oh, it bowed the thing.
Oh
That
yeah.
happened
So
much
it was
back in
bent.
the day.
It was bent
Yeah.
all the way down. So when we left the apartment and moved out, we're like, I cannot wait to throw this outside on the ground and start stomping on it and beat the shit out of it like office space. Yeah. Just be done with it. Just be done with it. And we set it out and we kind of did that. We started to take it downstairs. We took it downstairs and we take it out back, ready to take a baseball bat to this thing. And the guy who worked at the front desk was like, what are you doing with that? We're like, we're about to destroy it. He's like, I'll take it. We're like, no! You took away the one thing we wanted to do. The joy of destroying it. For the past 4 years, we've been waiting to destroy this. So that's essentially what this guy got thrown back on his lawn.
Yes.
All the stuff he wanted to get rid of.
Right. Toys, barbecue, old barbecue burner, a new barbecue box. Chris White said a family friend noticed the trash and shared some pictures of the garbage online.
Could this be the plot of Toy Story 5?
I know. Early Monday morning.
Grill stories.
Grill Story 1. Yeah.
Early Monday morning, Chris White went to clean up the mess, and while he was picking up the trash, he noticed something. A shipping receipt. So now he's like, oh, I know where this came from. I'm going to show you guys, and you can run it up for me, Rand, so that Jimmy can see it. I'm going to show you the picture of Chris White. He looks like a man. Like in one sentence, like if you were to, he looks like somebody who wants to say, do you know what your kid did? Like, look at him.
Yep.
He just looks like he's like, he wants to discipline your children.
This is the definition of white privilege.
Yeah.
He's the good one in this.
Chris White privilege.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has the privilege of sending back your garbage.
Yeah, he's like, enough of this shit.
He owns a lot of camouflage, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And no matter how cold it is, will not wear gloves.
He's also the type of guy that owns more than one of those flashlights you can drive over and it won't break.
Well,
And
they said if you order now, you get two.
And he'll walk over to your conversation and be like, did you guys say you guys need a pocket knife? No. What were you going to say, Jimmy?
Well, this is, I would say it's almost good press for Chris White. Like, he seems like a hard knock dude. And he's throwing away his kids' toys. And he's getting a new grill.
Right.
So there's almost like a neighborhood announcement. It's like Chris White is balling. He just
That's
got
right.
a new grill.
Yeah, but no, Chris White's the guy who picked him up. He cleaned it up.
Oh, he's the pick.
Cleaned it up.
Yeah,
Chris White is like, he is like a superhero. Like his superhero would be to deliver garbage back to people who illegally dump it illegally.
Right. And there's two dents in his truck, and he only cares about one of them.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. That's Chris White.
Quote, I was picking up a Nike box, and it was so wet, the lid actually tore off of it when I grabbed it. And inside of it was a slip with the person's name and address. So the plot thickens here for now. Detective P.I. Chris White.
There you go.
So I decided that maybe he should get his garbage back. White packed up all the trash into the back of his own truck and then drove it to the address he found on the receipt.
Okay, now
He paid it backward.
he paid it backwards. This is now like an Adele song. You know what I mean? He's going to drive it straight to that person's house and say, never mind, I'll find someone like you.
This
Here we
is
go.
the country version of an Adele song.
Country Adele.
Yes.
The farmers in Adele.
Yeah.
Thank you.
More of a John Michael Montgomery.
Yeah.
So he said, I think this guy should get his garbage back. White packed it all up, drove back to the house. It was fairly early, which is also just a little bit more of a needle move. 7:30 in the morning, and I knocked on his door quite abruptly. White recalled, adding that he didn't think twice about going there, which is also like a me thing.
Yeah.
According to White, the person denied the act at first. Not me.
Yeah, what?
Not me.
Right, that's the right reaction.
Right.
Yeah. It's like, how do you know this is my garbage, dude?
I'm an Adidas guy.
I didn't even watch The Last Dance. What does that have to do
What
with
does that have
this?
to do with
It's
it?
really the garbage version of the Cinderella.
Yeah.
Like, are you a size 8? Let me. You got to fit in these shoes.
He brings it over to
Right.
him.
Wouldn't it be great if all that trash was like magically beautiful things, and then that's what they turned into at midnight, and the guy just got scared and left them there?
That's it, dude. That's it, dude. He's like, listen, man, you just produce a packing slip, and then I'll say that it's mine. Hang on a second. Let me go get it.
Literally, according to White, the person denied the act at first, but quickly changed his mood when Chris White showed him the evidence, the shipping receipt. He immediately admitted to it. That's what I love, that turn. Not me at all. You got me.
All right.
Oh,
Just that quick
nice.
turn of like, yeah, I did it. He immediately admitted to it, so I kindly asked him to get his garbage back off of my truck. So he's making him unload it from the truck.
That's right. He's not going to do it. It's like his intern.
White said the person unloaded the garbage from his truck within a few minutes, and he hasn't heard from him since. Does he think they're friends?
Like, how
no.
close
What
are
do you
they?
expect him to
what-
hear?
He never texted me back. He left me on red.
You never return my sex.
I told the guy, like, if you ever want to hang, we've met now. Let me know.
This guy Chris definitely sounds like he's wielding a couple guns. Like
Yes.
this takes a lot of confidence
Yep.
to walk up on somebody's front porch.
It's 7:30
and be
in the
like, hey,
morning.
You unloaded off my truck. This guy either knows MMA or his gun.
That's MMA confidence. He definitely took some
Yeah.
jujitsu when he
Right.
was younger.
Right. Or he at least has a pretty good idea of how a Kimura hold works.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
from watching Rogan.
That's right.
He said that it took him a few minutes. He hasn't heard from the guy since. White said it's not the first time someone is illegally dumped near the family farm, and it seems to be a recurring issue in the spring. There were some TVs and old microwaves last year that were dumped here and just some random garbage. This is one of my favorite sentences in the story. The street is also a popular place for people to watch the sunset.
What?
I don't. This is Chris White, the romantic part of Chris
He's like-
White.
Or like he's overstating his street a little bit.
You can watch
Yeah, his
this.
street looks like a great vista for sunsets, and it just looks like a garbage dump. Also.
Yeah,
Right,
It's
exactly.
very
That's what I
confusing.
think. Like, who's like,
He's trying to build up the street. Do you remember how you used to watch the show Sanford and Son and say to yourself, man, I'd love to see a sunset right there?
yeah, like who's like, hey, do you want to go watch the sunset and have sex next to some old diapers?
No.
Yeah.
Jesus. No.
White said it's not uncommon to have a dozen cars parked along the side of the road.
All right.
Then turn this into a tourist trap, buddy.
Yeah.
But he said those people often leave trash behind. Obviously, if the garbage gets into the fields, or hey, it's not good for the cows. White said he doesn't regret taking matters into his old hands. Of course not. It all worked out. And returning the dump garbage to the culprit. He said he could have gone to authorities, which may have led to a costly fine, but he chose to teach a lesson instead. See, I told you, he wants to discipline your kids.
He really does want. He's like, I'll take it in.
Let me embarrass the guy.
I'm the county's teacher.
Right. I think the embarrassment of having dropped it back off at his own house was worth more than $1,000 for sure. Although it's not the first time that he's had to clean up someone's trash, it was the first time that Chris White was able to return it to the sender.
Jeez.
Dude, I know. Yeah,
Do you know how old Chris White is?
But it does not say. I mean, I'd say he's a solid 33 years old. Looks very year of our Lord.
Yes.
Does he live by himself on that farm?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I'm sure he does.
Yeah.
He seems like a scavenger.
I'd say he lives by himself since she left.
Yes.
Honey,
Exactly.
we can't
She's
spend
coming
every day.
back. She's coming back. Honey, I just want to take the garbage back to their house. If you had a wife there, she would have been like, don't do
What
that.
are you doing?
Yeah.
Also, I hope their fight was over. She wanted him to stop watching people watch sunsets.
Yeah. Honey, I'm right here.
Yeah.
And generally, how does trash pickup work
Yeah.
on a farm? Like here, I take my garbage out Thursday night, and then the truck comes by Friday morning. When you're on a farm,
So
the logistics.
It usually goes dumpsters so that they come out once a month. You have like a full size dumpster for your family. And then they just decrease the amount that they have to send somebody out to the country farms. I know this sort of
Damn,
stuff.
that's pretty
geez.
good.
Yeah, you're
That's amazing.
nice, dude.
That's phenomenal.
Well, I grew up working on them and born on one. So yeah, that's our story there with you, buddy.
All right, I love it. Let's go to break. You got to take off because you got stuff going. First,
Yeah, I wish I could stay longer, guys. I'm
No
sorry.
worries,
man, this is fun. We'll have you come back and do a full
we'll have you
one.
come back and do a full one, but maybe we'll take over the last two for this episode because I think we got to get
yeah,
this
we
out
can
on
totally
Tuesday.
do that, for
and we
sure.
want to promote your stuff. So let everyone know about Space Force, when's it's going to be on, and when can people check it.
Space Force. Well, by the time the show comes out, it'll already be on
Great.
Netflix. All 10 episodes.
Awesome.
So it's going to be great. I'm excited to see what the reaction is.
Dude, I think it's going to be
people love
incredible.
it. It's
People
big.
are really anticipating it. I knew that, like, when my wife and my 15-year-old daughter were both like, "Are we watching this?" I was like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
we are."
That's great.
It's
And
just-
I feel like the curiosity of space is back. Yesterday, SpaceX and NASA
Dude,
was
yeah,
trying to do a
for sure.
space launch.
Elon Musk,
and
man.
it ended up they had to scrub it because of weather.
Weather,
And
yeah.
I know.
actually, that is the plot of the first episode of Space Force. So it made us look like geniuses. It was the perfect scenario. Yeah.
That's what
yeah.
I'm talking
Pathetic.
about.
That's awesome, dude.
Well, definitely check that out, Space Force, and your special on Amazon. It was fantastic. I want everyone to check that out.
Obviously,
too.
all
Thank
your
you
work
so
on
much, guys.
all your work in Silicon Valley, dude.
Amazing.
Loved it.
Was so great. That character
Thank
arc
you.
and every place that you took that was just your delivery was perfect. One of the highlights of that show. So thanks for joining
Thank
us,
you.
man.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. I'll come back for a full episode soon.
We
For
will
sure.
for sure.
Great. Thanks,
All
dude.
right, man.
Thanks, Jimmy O Yang.
Later, guys.
All right, we'll
Bye.
be right back with more after this.
Stick around, make a sound for more Dumb People Town.
Guys, want to talk to you about something that's super important, your mental health. We know that right now everyone has a general level of anxiety in their world, and now added on top of that is the world anxiety, the world of anxiety that has been placed on all of our shoulders because of this pandemic, whether it be economic issues, whether it be social issues, whether it be general anxiety stuff that we all feel. We're building. All you have to do is scroll through your phone and you can start to feel that anxiety. And whether you're in a house that is making you more anxious or you're quarantining alone and that loneliness is very difficult, we want to make sure you guys are taking care of yourselves. And that's why I love that we have this sponsor, Talkspace. They're amazing. They're an online therapy and they are more committed than ever to expanding access for anyone who is struggling right now. With Talkspace, you get the support of a licensed therapist from the safety of your own home and can reach out from your device whenever something is on your mind. You can send a therapist text, audio, picture, or video messages from your phone or computer 24/7 as thousands of licensed therapists are there to help you out. They'll match you with one that can. And look, I know my wife's practice has grown in the time of this pandemic, mainly because people are needing that connection and needing that outlet and needing that resource. I love Talkspace because they have thousands of licensed therapists trained in over 40 specialties, including the ones that are the most important right now: anxiety, depression, relationship issues, the things that keep you up at night. They're going to help you out. Once you're matched, you can begin your therapy the exact same day. This is really good. So in honor of Mental Health Month, Talkspace is online therapy committed to fostering a global community. They get it. Here's the bottom line. You deserve support. You deserve not to have to struggle anymore on your own. Your Talkspace therapist can be your dedicated support system, there to make you feel healthier. That's right. And more empowered even in these uncertain times. As a listener of our podcast, you get $100 off your first month of Talkspace. To match with your perfect therapist, go to Talkspace.com or download the app. Make sure you use the code SCLAR. It gets you $100 off and lets them know that we sent you there. That's SCLAR at Talkspace.com. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. So, little unorthodox, but this is the time of the pandemic, and
Move and flow. Be like water, man. Be like water.
you be like water. You flow. We're gonna.
And by the way, Jimmy O Yang, very busy guy, is doing a ton of Space Force press and press for his own
so
thing
we're
too.
lucky to get him in the midst of all that. He is a rising star, so check him out on all of his stuff.
And we'll get him back on, and he'll do all 3 segments with us.
But here's the
next
good
time.
news. You got 3 people sitting at this table who are no strangers to breaking down stories. And Dan, you have another story.
I would also dare say, if you love this is how the Patreons work. Except for I don't know the stories, but it's
Yeah,
the
the
3 of us.
Patreons
So
go
if
the
you-
other direction where
if you
we did the
enjoy,
stories.
if you enjoy just hanging with the 3 of us, you get that with every single Patreon episode.
So let's jump into it.
Here we go.
Let's do it.
Sent in by Joe Luttrell at the Gentleman Joe.
I love
guy's
this
on
dude
fire.
so much. He
I feel like
always sends it.
he's the guy who calls into the radio station and he's the 5th caller every single time.
That's right. This guy has won more tickets. This guy knows the phrase that pays.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Remember that, Dan? The phrase that pays.
Yeah, you had to know it. You had to hear it in the morning, and then you got to call in the afternoon.
Monkey nuts in the morning, monkey nuts at night, monkey nuts in the afternoon.
phrase
Feeling
that
all right.
pays.
The phrase that pays.
Phrase that pays.
We're going to hear that right before we get the let out at 5 o'clock.
Phrase
All right.
that pays.
Spokane area Representative Matt Shea billed for damage to state capitol steps during protest. I love this story.
Dude, send him the bill.
Here we go.
Send this dude the bill, and I'm saying pound him with it.
This took place before the world that we're currently living with
Yeah.
the pandemic. So it was a different type of protest and actually hilarious.
Okay.
Matt Shea, who's accused of domestic...
Matty Shea.
Matty Shea.
who seems like a not great guy because he was accused of domestic terrorism by a House commissioned report last year.
Yeah.
Even the
guy's got a
Republicans are like, they don't like him.
They're like,
And
we
he's
can't even
Republican.
explain away his behavior.
Right.
Yeah. He intentionally poured a trail of olive oil along the steps of the Capitol building, causing significant damage, according to the State Department of Enterprise Services, part of an apparent counter-protest to a demonstration. Here's what he was part of.
Dan, you will know me by my trail
By
of
the
olive.
trail of my trail of olive.
So he was part of a counter-protest where he damaged steps with olive oil. And his counter-protest was against a demonstration of Satanists. Now, here's my thing. Maybe this gets into it. I don't remember. But if you're a Christian, Satanists believe in God as hardcore as you do.
Yeah,
Because Satan is in the Bible.
that's right.
So these are just people. I understand that they're on the other side of the
They're
coin.
just in a different area.
But
than
when you campaign or you live your life by the word of God is true and meaningful,
Yep.
that's how they feel too.
But-
Do you understand what I'm saying? Like you can't have one without the other.
But unless you're a hardcore Satanist and you don't believe in God, but you just believe in Satan.
But then you don't get Satan.
But here's
Satan
the thing.
is of
I
Christianity.
know, but the Satan is like the devil, 666, anarchy, and all that stuff. So
That's
maybe-
all Bible.
I know,
I
but
know
I'm
you
just-
guys aren't brushed up on your New Testament.
We aren't.
Dan,
but I
but
will
I'm
say
just
this,
saying.
Dan. But is there anything more satanic than spilling olive oil and trying to ruin? Like, that's the least Christian thing
That's
to do.
very true.
To do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
very true.
So that to me is the
Guys,
hand of Satan.
What if he's making pesto and it just a little
enough.
bit got dripped out and
a
that's the
little
way
bit.
it goes?
Just
Just
a
a
little
little
spill.
bit. Can I say that we
Spillage.
made, so every Friday night we've been making pizza. It's like our thing on
Ooh.
Friday nights. We do pizza. We go and we
What
get,
are the hit toppings?
we get the frozen pizza crust from Trader Joe's. It's great. 2 come in a thing. And you put either the tomato sauce or what I did this time was I put pesto. Put pesto,
pesto pie.
on the pie, and then the pepperoni, and then the cheese and goat cheese, and I went nuts. And I put it we put it right in the oven, not on anything, just sitting on the grates.
Yeah.
And what I didn't
That's how I do
realize
my
is
tombstones.
I didn't realize that the pesto sauce bubbles up and comes down. So it fell down onto the bottom and started smoking and created a whole thing. So then and I shouldn't be this excited about it, but then overnight we self-clean the oven. I don't know if you've self-cleaned an oven.
How does it work?
Okay, it shuts it up and it heats it up to such an unbelievable level, but it like cleans as if
Do you have to wipe it out?
Nope. As if an elf came in, and I'm telling you, a magical being came in and cleaned the oven.
It's like a little brick or something,
No,
right? You put it in
no,
there.
no.
It's you turn the oven on a certain setting
I mean,
and
I have it on mine.
it steams it out.
Dan, try it tonight. I'm telling you,
Self clean your oven.
your oven on the inside. I didn't know our oven was blue. I came in the next morning. I'm like, it's blue.
All right.
So
I'll
I'm
do
just
it.
saying, maybe this guy's making pesto, and maybe there needs to be a self-cleaning option for the steps of the Capitol building.
mean,
That's all I'm saying.
I'm with you.
How can I be a 48-year-old man with children and responsibilities and a taxpayer and a mortgage and not understand how a self-cleaning oven works?
Hey,
or be surprised and think that it's magic.
Little victories, dude.
Is that Satan? Satan? I ask you.
Satan.
Satan?
Um,
Satan?
Shay, a Republican from Spokane Valley, is being billed for the damage to the steps and base of legislation.
Wait, he's a
legislative building
Republican?
north. Yes.
They just said he's a Republican just to say it.
well, because he is a state representative.
Oh, so he was a state representative. So he works
Yes.
in the building.
Yes.
And he was like, let me mess with these people who
So
are
he
demonstrating.
wanted to pour olive oil on the steps so that they would slip and fall.
Dan, this is like,
I'm not sure, but
By the
that's-
way, if they slip and fall, they could sue the government.
know.
You dummy.
this is like
this is why it fits.
when they storm the castle and they pour like hot
Hot stuff
oil
over the top. Maybe they're pouring hot olive oil over
He's
the
a
top.
big fan of Swiss Family Robinson. He's got all sorts of little tools lined up to stop him.
Guys, the castle is closed because we are self-cleaning the drawbridge.
Yes.
Exactly.
I didn't know it was blue.
So, he's a Republican from Spokane Valley. He's being billed for the damage to the steps and at the base of Legislative Building North. Department of Enterprises spokesperson Linda Kent said the damage occurred on March 6th.
Linda Kent hasn't smiled in 4 years.
The damage occurred March 6th, the same day as the demonstration at the Capitol organized by the Satanic Temple of Washington, St. Debs.
If you want to go do that, you got to go get a form signed by Linda Kent. Oh,
I know.
God. I have to go get it signed by Linda. Yep.
Yeah.
Linda,
You're going to want to go on a Friday because that's the only day she's tolerable.
this is a family picture, Linda. Please just, you don't have to show us your teeth. Just curl your
Curl
lips
the
up a little.
outside parts of your mouth up, Linda.
The Satanic Temple had applied for and received a permit to hold a demonstration.
So which doesn't seem very satanic of them.
I
The fact
know.
that they
Go
have
through the methods.
to apply for the thing.
Telling you, they're as indoctrinated as Christians. They're just on the other side of the sheet.
Dan, you may be right.
Look, in many ways, the truth is, what do we fear in God, in the God-fearing people? They fear retribution for
Right.
breaking the rules.
Right.
Here you go.
You're fearing a deity. It's
Right.
the same. You live in two houses next door to each other on the cul-de-sac.
Cul-de-sac. Yeah.
That's all you do.
100%.
Satan's more fun.
Videos from the day show people dressed in black hooded gowns marching with black and white American flags, beating drums, and chanting Hail Satan. Several carried pentagram symbols, often associated with Satanism.
There you go.
Behind them, others held a sign proclaiming Satan has... Oh, this is the people counter-protesting.
Yeah.
Satan has no rights. God bless America. Satan does have
Dan,
rights.
this will never happen again. Remember the olden days when people protested like weird
Abort.
stuff like this?
Yes, yes.
And you just could,
Right.
and it had nothing to do with like, let me not wear a mask or
Yeah,
open
this is
up
what
my
it's gonna,
gym.
This is what it's going to be.
Like
That's
never going to
This is
happen
what I'm
again.
doing on Saturday. I'm going to protest a Satan rally.
What are you doing tomorrow?
I mean,
Jimmy
could you
Doo?
Who
imagine?
cares? By the way, who cares?
Guys,
Who
could
has that
you
kind of time?
imagine the gold if you were in a capital city of a state?
Mm-hmm.
It was before your Saturday show, and you get to watch a Satan rally.
It
I
would
would
be the
go
greatest
nuts.
thing ever.
That's 20 minutes that
Yep.
night.
I would go nuts.
20
Dan,
minutes.
you would have a
would
20 minute.
Dan, you would have a 20-minute
20-minute
fully
worked out-
formed story.
that night. We would have like 12 minutes of
Whatever.
jokes about it.
Shay looked on from the edge of the scene as the Satanists performed their demonstration and the counter protesters tried to speak over them.
I work for a government that allows free speech. How dare these people gather?
This to me also is when like two 6-year-old boys argue over whose mom or dad could beat up the other person's
Yeah,
mom or dad.
yeah.
Because they're both representing something they wholeheartedly believe in that is never going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like Satan and God aren't going to fight each other. So you're really just like arguing and you're hype manning a fight that's never going to happen.
They can't get Mike Tyson to fight Evander Holyfield. How are they
For
going to get
charity.
God? How
Right.
are they going to get God to fight Satan?
Agreed. He
Same
looked
deal.
on from the edge as the counter protesters tried to speak. Shay did not respond to the request for comments. He wrote on Facebook that he had cleaned the ground after the Satanist demonstration. Shay can be seen on separate surveillance video carrying a bottle of olive oil. What that has to do with the devil, I do not know.
Dude, the devil does not like pesto.
That's right. Garlic for vampires, olive oil for the
Here
devil.
are two things we know about the devil. Number one, the devil wears Prada. Number
Yes.
two, the devil does not like pesto.
Hates it. Shay can be seen on separate surveillance video carrying a bottle of olive oil through Capitol hallways, on Capitol grounds, and onto the stone steps that ended up being stained. In some of the videos, he is trailed by a group of men and women. This is also...
Who are all telling him, don't do it.
you know when they
Please,
say
dear God.
like Thunderdome, like a new fighter has joined?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got the black hooded Satanists.
Yeah.
Right.
We've got the.
By the way, who are not looking for a fight.
no, they had a permit.
They got
just
a permit.
wanna-
They just want to praise the
Hail
guy,
Satan in front of a government
the
building.
guy down
then
on.
we got counter protesters screaming about Satan's rights.
Yep.
Yes.
And then we've got a state representative pouring olive oil on the steps.
I got to give the glory to hell.
What could only make this better is that state representative, Shea, was joined by a group of men wearing black leather vests emblazoned with crucifixes and calling themselves the Christian Crusaders. Several of them carry shofars and ram horns.
Okay, you know what shofar is?
No.
That's the thing that they blow on the high holidays. Like,
Oh, yes.
that's,
Okay, well, that's being co-opted by the nicest biker gang in
you don't
Texas,
get to keep that.
the Christian Crusaders.
These guys are idiots.
I know. Satanists showed up to perform some sort of ritual, Shay wrote on Facebook. That's where all good opinions live.
Right.
It failed. We are victorious in Christ, and he granted us victory today. Don't anybody get skewed. I am not. If you want to be Christian, great. You want to be Jewish?
Be a
Great.
good
You wanna be
Christian that's
Satan-
nice to
You
people.
want to be Satan? Great. But this is a ridiculous story of people throwing around olive oil and wearing
Dan,
leather vests.
But this is no bad influence on the Satanists. The Satanists in this story have done nothing.
They are
They filed
to be-
for a permit.
I
They
know.
showed up and did it the right way.
Right.
They
But they're
sacrificed
goofy, too.
They
Miss-
sacrificed a baby cleanly.
Yeah, Johnny Olive Oil is the guy who's bringing
Johnny Olive Oil has got
olive
a
oil. This is good.
This guy's walking around, and it's like he's turned this into like a religious West Side story.
He says, Christ granted us victory today. We prayed, claimed, and cleaned the ground and evangelized, showing the radical
clean the
love
ground.
of God.
You
I just
didn't
want to say
clean
also,
the-
You didn't clean the
don't
ground.
put radical with anything you're doing religious.
Can I just tell you that one's in black leather vest, the other's in a black robe. So the black leather vests are a hood and sleeves away from being the other people.
100%.
Right? That's it. A
And
hood
they're all
and sleeves.
and they're all like 3 spikes on each shoulder away from being like a Raiders.
yeah, from the red black hole Raiders fans.
You know what the funny thing is? If somebody would have just started a 12th man chant, that would have brought all these people in
There you
Seattle
go.
together.
There you go.
A spokesman for the Satanic Temple of Washington said he didn't notice any conflict with Shea, so he didn't even know that this guy was over on the steps.
Oh, that guy?
Are you ready
Oh,
for the name of the person who's a spokesperson for the Satanic
I
Temple?
cannot wait.
Turkus Claypool,
Tarkus,
which is like not weird enough to feel made up, but not normal enough to feel like it was his birth name.
Tarkus Claypool.
Right.
Old Tarky.
We just focused on what we were doing, Claypool said. It's going to take a lot more than Matt Shea and his bottle of salad dressing to stop us from exercising.
That
is the
by the way, that
most-
is the most shade he could throw.
I know. That's why I love this story.
To call this is my
'Cause it's
favorite
almost like-
insult
it's almost-
because it's just small. Just small enough.
Because it's just small enough that if the Christian Crusaders heard it, they're like, the hell did he just say?
It's like weirdly emasculating too. Like olive oil is one thing. Like salad dressing is
Salad dressing is
a
like
little-
he brings his own salad dressing to
Right.
restaurants and maybe just he was going out to lunch and he brought
Also,
his
you
own
notice
salad.
in 2 things, he's like, didn't notice, have no clue. But then I'm also going to drop a very specific thing about what happened.
His bottle of salad dressing.
It's going to take a lot more than Matt Shea and his bottle of salad dressing to stop us from exercising our First Amendment rights.
That's right. I don't know why this is so funny.
They're
to me
so
that he
right.
Threw,
I know.
He threw that shade at him.
Another video shows the
through some
damage.
Hidden Valley shade.
That's
A
right.
stain. About how long do you guys think? How many feet do you think the stain is, according to the DES incident report that runs
Let's
on the,
just establish that
on the marble steps?
Yeah.
Matt Shea is a stain.
Yeah,
Like,
he's
the
the
person.
stain.
He's
What
a
is he?
stain.
5'8"?
All right. So how many feet is it
Yeah.
in feet?
How long do
How
you think
many-
the stain is?
Yeah,
Is it in feet, Dan? Mm-hmm. Okay.
he's got to pay for it. It's on marble steps.
If you're still thinking I have a
27 feet.
27 feet.
11 feet 9 inches.
Okay. The stain, about 100 feet long.
Oh
It's a lot of salad dressing.
Oh my god.
Runs from the street up the building's marble steps and along its base to its entry. Special care must be taken when cleaning and repairing historic masonry. That's not what people think about. These old buildings were made a lot of times with like really good material, or sometimes like material that had to
Dan,
be
what you
constantly
just
cleaned.
said was the first fact of this whole thing. Special care takes place in
Yes.
cleaning historic masonry.
Yes, and because you've spilled stuff on your couch and you used some
I will give you a different thing. And my wife is a designer, and we know this because we put marble countertops on our kitchen counter. And she said, now listen, there are gonna be stains on this. Like drinks are gonna get put on this thing, and there's nothing we can do about it. It's gonna patina. So things get on there. There's like a stain over by where our knives are hanging up right now. It bothers me to no end. It looks like a little ring, and I get so mad that I can't get it off because I'm not doing it the right way. Right. That is the exact example here.
Yes. Masonry materials are porous, and oils and other material can penetrate into the microscopic pores, making extraction of the oil and other materials a time-consuming and difficult process.
He should have to do it with his own toothbrush and then use that toothbrush.
King 5, which I assume is a local news affiliate, but I hope is just some person who's now entered this story.
King 5.
King 5.
Or a sporting goods store.
Yes. First reported about Shea being billed for the damage. Kent said the Washington State Patrol was not asked to investigate because
Are we going to guess how much he was billed? Oh, I'm so excited.
Intend to cause long-term damage. She compared it to a ball kicked through a window. People do not often realize the long-term damage can be caused by historic buildings with such
You're
actions.
not a 7-year-old kid who did this. You're an adult who understands you got to pay.
That's why Kent says in cases like this, the cost to taxpayers makes such repairs typically handled administratively with the responsible party billed. Gentlemen, to end out our second story.
This is a great story. Your little
rounded
bottle of
to the
salad dressing.
nearest 100. How much do you think it costs to clean these steps? How much do you think Matt Shea was billed for his little salad dressing stunt?
You can get a professional cleaner to power wash it or figure out a way to get it out.
Right.
But it's going to cost you. So how much do you think it is, Jay?
$4,700.
Okay.
$6,900.
One of you is exactly right.
Oh my God. I'm right. I think I'm right.
I think I'm right. I think I'm right.
I'm not going to go to the other side. And I know only one of us can
Did you
be
say
right.
42?
4,700.
47. I said 69.
Okay.
Get your answers in, Ted.
It's listed in the very first paragraph of the story.
I love it.
He poured a trail of olive oil along the steps of the Capitol building, causing more than... Townies, get your answers in right now because this is how we're ending story number 2. $4,700.
Oh, Jay.
Wow.
That's
dude.
a crazy pull,
That
man.
was a good guess.
It's good. And Dan, kudos to you for staying calm when he made that guess because I had no idea what it's like. I had confidence in myself. You were great. All right, there you go. That's story number 2. Can you give us a little tease of what we're going to hear in story number 3?
It's a fun one. It's a short little nugget. A guy gets asked to do something we've all been asked to do dozens of times, and
what he
for
did,
some reason has a problem with it.
There we go. I love it. Your little bottle of salad dressing. I don't know why that tickles me so much, but it was such a shade power move. I love it so much. All right, we have one more story to go. We had Jimmy O Yang in the first segment. I'm so happy he was able to do that.
Yeah, great.
And hey, this is how we roll in the pandemic. We try and do it, and the 3 of us are together, so we're going to give you this last story. Just the 3 of us is Dumb People Town. Stay with us.
Stick around, make a sound. There's more Dumb People Town.
Hey guys, Randy and Jason Sklar here from Dumb People Town and Scarborough Country, the Virus Edition, and View from the Cheap Seats. And we are doing a really cool stand-up show on Thursday night, June 4th, 7 p.m. Pacific Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 Central, 8 Mountain. And it internationally, you can join. If you're listening to our podcast and you want to hear us do an hour of stand-up comedy in a really cool venue called the Nowhere Comedy Club, it's all on Zoom. They only have 390 tickets. I want to sell this thing out, and we can hear your laughter. It's the closest thing to a stand-up show that we've done since before the pandemic. We did a guest set in our buddy Wayne Fetterman show, did like 20 minutes, and it was the most fun we had doing stand-up. So I want you guys to check it out. Our buddy Dan Van Kirk, co-host of Dumb People Town, is doing a guest set in the show. So he's going to do about 20 minutes. We're going to do as close as we can to an hour, 50 minutes an hour. It's going to be a blast. There's some VIP tickets left where we can all jump on and have a little Zoom hangout session afterwards. If you go to eventbrite.com and look up Night of 1,000 Sklars, live stand-up comedy with the Sklar brothers, you can get your tickets right now. They're not that expensive. It's really, for us who we don't get a chance to go out on the road, and we're not going to get a chance to go out on the road. We miss doing stand-up. We miss performing in front of friends and fans. This is your chance to see us live, do a live show on Thursday, June 4th, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 Eastern at the Nowhere Comedy Club. Again, eventbrite.com, and look up Night of 1,000 Sklars, live stand-up comedy with the Sklar brothers and Daniel Van Kirk. Check it out. Hey guys, welcome back to Dumb People Town. We have a huge announcement 2 days from now on Thursday night. Randy
Dan and I are doing a live comedy show where we can hear your laughter. You get to be, quote unquote, in the Zoom where it happens.
In the Zoom where it happens, the Zoom where it happens.
So it's so much fun. We have not done a full stand-up show. We miss doing a headlining set, and
I
Dan's
miss
going to
it
do
so
a nice long set. It's such a great thing. It's at the Nowhere Comedy Club.
If you go to eventbrite.com, look up Night of 1,000 Sklars, you'll see it. You get a ticket. There's some VIP tickets left. I think they're only like 15 or so.
Maybe
VIP.
by the
less.
time this airs on Tuesday, maybe less.
there might be
They
less.
do cap the room, so it can sell out, and you could end up on Thursday being like, oh, you know what, I'm going to do something fun and hang with the boys, and you might be locked out.
We're recording this 5 days before this episode drops, and right now we're pushing up over a third sold already, and it's moving every day. So, this is your last chance. Get in on this. If you're a Dumb People Town fan and you've been missing the live energy, we'll be doing stand-up, and there are little pieces.
Here is my hope. We do our stand-up. We do our headlining set. Dan does a guest set. And what happened to us happens to Dan, where they'll be like, okay, Dan's going to now go do a headlining set there, which would be awesome. And this is just a great club to support. If you're like, God, I miss going out and watching comedy. And if you say to yourself,
it's not expensive either. I think it's 10
or
bucks, 15 bucks.
It's so worth it, and it helps us out, and it helps this club out, and it keeps comedy alive. So again, Nowhere Comedy Club. If you go to eventbrite.com and look up Night of 1,000 Flowers, you can get your tickets for that. All right, should we jump in?
That's Thursday night, 7 Pacific,
7
10
p.m.
Eastern.
Pacific, 10 Eastern Time, June 4th.
And you also probably heard in the ads me mention my game night thing. If you're interested in that, go back, listen to that ad in case you scrolled through them. Don't, because a lot of times we plug great things in there, or we're telling you about products and services that we actually believe in and love.
Amen.
So if you missed out on game night with Daniel Van Kirk, you might want to go back and listen to those ads.
Got it.
All right, here we go. Ready? Mm-hmm. I'm going to just read you the headline because it's short.
Let's hear
it. It was sent in by Jake Groney at Jake Groney.
Groney.
Friend of the show.
We have so many great people.
Jay Groney and the Gentleman
They're getting us
Joe.
through, man.
Gentleman Joe, Jay Groney, the Lorna,
Yeah, Catherine Lorna.
Catherine Tuck.
Yeah.
Catherine Tuck. We got so many good people who sent stuff.
La Asinia. There's so many great people. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Athens man offended after being told to pull forward at drive-thru. Now, what is...
When was the last time you were at a drive-thru, Dan? Have you been to a drive-thru during the pandemic?
I have.
You have.
I don't know.
I went to In-N-Out for my kids.
There is... I went to
can't
Starbucks
remember.
for my kids.
Okay.
I was like, you guys want... Because I get
I
them
had to have, right?
like pink drinks and decaf frap. It was, by the way, it was the simplest way to make my kids happy. They were so nice
Yes,
to me
I
the
went
rest
through a
of the
McDonald's.
day. So it's like just a simple way to kind of, and I went through it and I'm like, this is remarkably efficient because I don't normally go through drive-thrus. We just don't.
Right.
I don't do that. It was remarkably efficient. I loved everybody who was a part of it. The person who worked there was so sweet and so nice to me and the kids. It was great. Like,
Yeah.
Here's what had to and something tricky had to happen because each of them had Starbucks cards that they were given for like Christmas or something or Hanukkah or something like that.
Separate transactions.
Right. So I had to say to this person who had gloves on, and I know they were, and it was like a huge line. I was like, listen, I'm so sorry I'm doing this ahead of time.
That's a good start. A lot of people skip over the I'm so sorry.
I was like, I know this is going to be annoying and you are awesome and thank you, but can we put the pink drink on this one and the other one on this one? Is that okay? And the person was like, yeah, sure. It was totally. So it's like, why would you ever get mad at these people who are literally trying and still working?
Well, who's the person who told him to pull up? That's what I don't know. Was it another driver or was it the establishment?
Okay. An Athens man was barred.
Athens, Georgia.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was barred from the McDonald's on Prince Avenue this week after he objected to a clerk, quote, telling him to pull forward at the drive-thru window.
Instead of asking him,
I guess you
Sir, you have to pull forward.
pull forward.
Sir, you have to pull forward.
Or it could be, hey, buddy, just pull on forward for me.
Pull on up.
That counts as being told.
Sir, there's people behind you, so I need you to pull up.
Yep. Hey,
That's
buddy.
forceful.
I just need you to pull on up for me. And then, and you know what you're going to do? Thanks, there's your money. And then you're just going to pull on up to that next window.
Right. It's just
That could have been what pissed him off.
because he wanted respect.
Because people are babies.
I know what
People are
prequel
babies.
to the movie Falling Down is
That's
he
right.
living in.
You're at McDonald's.
Relax.
These are the type of
Dummy.
people who yell like that, drop N bombs at baseball games on and sporting events and say, "I bought my ticket."
Right.
I can say whatever I want
No,
to
you
this
That
left
doesn't.
fielder.
No, you can't.
No, you cannot.
No, you can't. Like there is a contract.
Remember there was
there's an unwritten contract that when we go to a business, we have to act civil to each other.
Right.
You're not allowed to go in and start insulting people unless you're at the wiener circle.
So what do you think's going to happen if you pull up? How do you think you're going to get your food?
I'll be like, sir,
Pull
yours
around.
isn't ready yet, and then my dick is going in that food, like in the back.
I was like, oh, Jay's going to say it isn't ready, and then I'm going to make that guy wait for 35
No,
minutes.
I'm gonna
Jay's
take
over here apple
wipe
pie.
my ass with his buns.
pull-
I'm gonna do all of it. I don't give a shit. I'm
No,
gonna
so
be
you
like,
put
I'm
your
gonna give
order
this-
in and someone says, pull around.
Right.
Is that telling him?
Okay, pull around. Yeah, technically it is. That's what I'm saying. This dude needs to chill out.
He was mad that they didn't say please.
This dude
pull
is the
around.
definition of a chump.
McDonald's is allowed, this quote, McDonald's is allowed to ask him to pull forward, but they cannot tell him to do so.
Is that what he said?
Yes, I would say they can tell
Yes,
you.
they can.
You can just decide if you're an asshole about it.
Tell you to leave too.
Here's what I love.
Fat.
Ready? The employee then refused to serve the man. All right,
Good-
now you don't get
good
nothing.
on you, man.
There
Like,
you go.
like dealing with a 4-year-old. All right, now you don't get nothing.
right.
No soup for you.
Right, no soup for you.
No soup for you.
The employee then refused to serve the man, who demanded a refund and again appeared upset when the refund was made in all coins.
Yeah. So they paid him back. They
Paid
did
him
not
back.
pay him.
What? Refund.
Refund.
I'd be
Refund.
like to my coworker, I'd be like, hey, Mitch,
Crack out the
crack
pennies.
out those rolls of pennies.
This
We're
is
about to
fast
pay
times.
this motherfucker
Sir, if you
back.
don't shut up, I'm going to kick 100% of your ass.
Yeah, exactly.
Fast times.
He demanded a refund and again appeared upset when the refund was made in all coins.
Yep.
The man then went inside the restaurant to
No.
complain, and police were called.
Mm-hmm.
The officer banned the upset customer from the restaurant for 2 years. Is that even going to hold up in court?
Okay, so this week, Jay and I talk
Could
about
a
this
cop
all
just
the
We
say-
talk
time.
about this all the time. No.
How is someone going to get banned?
It's like
How
when-
do you enforce that?
Depends on your town.
I
In
guess
Rochelle, you could be like, the Van Kirks aren't allowed in here anymore. And that would hold up.
True.
Everybody knows
But
Aunt Connie
maybe in
and
Athens,
Diane.
maybe in Athens, Georgia.
Athens,
that
Georgia
works.
is where University of Georgia is.
It's where REM came up.
Yeah, this is a big town.
And
There's
you
no
got to
way
put their
you can-
picture by the drive-thru window,
I
right?
guess so. But what if that person comes in disguise?
That's great. You,
You know
spend
what I
your
mean?
life in disguise.
Bobby Valentine. That
I just
thing.
like the cop that's like, 2 years, you're out.
Who came up with 2 years?
Who enforces that? He's got a chief who's like, look, Don,
You know
you're
that he
doing
was-
a great job, and
Dan.
you've been really good at de-escalating things. You're part of the solution. You're one of the good cops, but you can't.
Now
we have
I
no
gotta
way to enforce you banning these people.
Now I got to station a guy here.
Right. So the manager at McDonald's was there when the cop was there, and
Sure.
the cop started talking. He was like, "All right, 2 years you're banned." And the manager's like, "Whoa, hey,
Hey, I can't devote a
that's just
person.
now
to-
you gave me a whole other thing I got to deal
This
with."
is Su-
Yeah, that's
we
so
talk
true.
about Sully McCullough's joke. His joke about McDonald's is the best. He's like, no matter what you do, you cannot get fired from McDonald's. He's
Yeah.
like, like a guy could stab the manager at McDonald's, and the manager would be falling down, blood coming out of his side, and he's like, "Man, you cut me real deep, but I need you up on that fry station for the next hour because we in a rush." I mean, that's it. I mean, that is.
right.
This is the kind of place where they can't fire anyone. Where
Also,
they're
in
completely
Athens,
over
Georgia,
their.
there's another McDonald's. Guaranteed
Yeah,
there's two
just
McDonald's.
go to the other one. It's just. But
What
by the
a
way,
bummer.
by
I
the
hope
way,
he's embarrassed. And
he
the
is
story
acting
comes-
like a jerk. This guy.
100%.
He should. This is the point at which I'm like, okay, this is the guy who he should be shouted down on social media.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like this is where
Sometimes
social
social media gets it right.
media, they get it right, and you can
Sometimes, yes.
sometimes. I'm saying we should be able to use this to shout this guy down and make him feel small.
I would agree with you. I will ask you then, you
How old?
gentlemen, how old do you think this man is?
Are we going out on this?
Yes.
All right.
How old do you think the guy who thinks that
Man is a loose term.
he can't be told? Human's a loose term.
Yeah.
he
He's
can't
mentally
be told.
he's 4.
Yeah,
Okay,
Jay.
60 years old.
60 years old,
Damn it! I thought the same thing. 64.
64 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Feels old, doesn't it? Feels like it's like an old
64
man.
and he wears jeans all the time.
Yep.
Right
64.
to bed.
Yeah. Jeans. Jeans to bed.
Well, that's what. Yeah.
Do you remember the last time you slept in jeans?
He wears shoes to bed.
Do you remember? No one tells you in your 20s that someday you will not be able to sleep in jeans.
Dan,
Because
Dan,
I
Dan.
guarantee you slept in your jeans at some point in your 20s.
Probably.
I have in my
You were
20s.
like, it was like after a concert.
Yeah.
You were staying at a friend's. That's how you got to the concert. And they were like, I'll just sleep here. It's fine.
Did I tell you the story about when I went to this is a crazy story. I went to a Fish concert. So my first job out of
college was I worked at this place called Jack's, which was Jewish alcoholics,
Chemically independent persons and their significant others.
All right,
Wow.
Jack's. My cousin had the job there. I just needed a job so we could pay our rent, so we could do stand up. It was a very heavy job. It was basically a supplementary group that provided supplementary programs for Jews who used as an excuse, I don't want to go into a church basement to do a 12-step program.
Gotcha.
So they're like, look, you got to go to the 12-step program. And this doesn't mean when you say the Lord's Prayer, that doesn't mean that
Right.
this doesn't mean you've renounced your Judaism. This is just you recovering, and we'll plan all these events of other Jewish alcoholics and Jewish people who are chemically dependent, so you can form a network. It was a great, great organization. And I was like planning events or involved, and I became friendly with some of the people, some of the young people who were even in recovery, all like the whole mix. Because I'm a friendly person, I got so one of the guys from someone who was in recovery was a huge Fish fan, and I was a huge Fish fan at the time. And he said, I got tickets for a show in Rhode Island, in wherever.
Providence at the Providence Civic Center or whatever.
Providence Civic Center. And he's like, I want you to go with me. And I was like, cool. I'm not your sponsor. You know what I mean? Like, this is like, if you're a Fish fan and you're in recovery and you're going to a Fish concert,
Jay, I can't believe.
So I agreed to go, and
what was the guy's name?
I can't remember.
No,
I can't even say it,
Yeah.
but I can't remember. But anyway, so he and his big bearded dude and a really sweet guy, and I connected with him really well. And so I show up to the thing, and he's not there yet. I'm meeting him at this venue, and then I'm
in Providence,
Rhode Island. I'm living in New York City.
You took a train up there.
No, I drove up. I think
we didn't have a car.
I rented a car. No. I took a train, and then he was going to drive or something. And so I run into friends of mine out front when I haven't seen them yet.
Yeah.
And they're
Brad,
like,
move that mouse bar for me just so I can see if that's still going.
They're like, hey, listen, we have some.
I got to do it. Keep going, Jay. I'm listening to you.
We have some weed. Do you want to get high? And I was like, man, I don't think this is a good idea.
Don't do
but
it.
I'm like, I haven't been to a Fish show and seen it sober before. But I was like, all right, I'll just take the tiniest little. And so I smoke it, and then I ask, hey, how strong is this? I need to know. But I did that after, and they're like, oh, this is crazy.
Yeah, that's the wrong time to ask.
So then I am like floored. I'm like, I almost can't talk. And now I got to find this guy.
Oh my God.
So I find the guy, and I'm holding it together as best I can through the whole show.
Which means you're not holding
Which means I'm totally not holding it together. But we're at a concert, so I don't have to like sit and have a whole conversation.
Right.
But, this is a bearded, long-haired dude. He looks like a homeless guy. And he's the sweetest dude.
95 fish.
95 fish. And we go and stay at our friend, this girl who had gone to Brown University. I think it was her. I think she was back at Brown University for her senior year.
You're in your 20s.
So we're in our 20s. So this is the last time I slept in my jeans. And so we're staying at her house because it's on a winter break or a spring break or something like that. And I just was like to this guy, he's like, is it okay if we stay here? And I'm like, yes, it's okay. Meanwhile, I'm like, I think I could have triggered his like relapse into this whole thing over and over again. But I in my mind, I'm like, I survived this thing. I got him through it, and I didn't make a scene, and he's okay, and he wasn't talking about. There was a time during the concert he was like, man, I wish I could smoke, and I'm like, you probably shouldn't. I'm trying to talk to him. I'm like, it's bad for you. And so then
again, I'm not your sponsor.
I'm not your sponsor, but so I go in and I sleep up in our friend's room. She told me where her room was. Okay.
Sure, yeah.
He's like, I don't know if I feel comfortable sleeping in the room. I'm just gonna sleep on the couch in the living room.
Yeah.
So at 7 a.m, all right, and we were out until late with the concert.
Yeah.
At 7 a.m, I hear a woman scream.
No.
One of the roommates of this girl came back up to school early.
Oh God.
And had not communicated with this other person.
And there's a bearded, like what appears to be a homeless man
guy
laying on their couch in the house, and she screams, and the guy starts freaking out.
Yeah,
and
that triggered his
That is like
relapse.
the more triggering thing. And so I had to come downstairs, and I'm like, "This is my friend," and of course, like he wasn't really my friend, so like I'm stumbling to remember his last name because it's a crazy situation, and I'm like, I'm friends with this woman, and it's her house, and
As you're explaining it, it makes no sense.
I sound like such a shyster the whole way, and I'm like, we're leaving anyway right now. We're probably on our way out of here at 7 in the morning. And
Which, by the way, also seems like you're running away from something that you shouldn't be there for.
Right. And I was like, call your friend, and she'll tell you that I was supposed to be there, but I didn't mention that this other guy was going to be staying there. That's the last time I slept in my jeans.
Oh my God.
And I was lucky I slept in my jeans because I literally slid into my shoes and got
you
the
gotta
F
get
out of
go.
there.
That's so great.
Is that crazy?
All right, I will tell you right now that this man sleeps in his jeans.
I said 61.
I
And
said
what
60. You said 60. I said 64.
yeah.
He is 33 years old.
Oh my God.
Just a young prick.
Who the hell are you to think you deserve that much respect at 33?
I know.
Like, I can understand an
You
old
ain't
man.
done shit.
I can understand an old man feeling like no one respects me and this world doesn't respect me. I can understand that line of reasoning, even though he's wrong in this situation. He
100%.
got what he deserved, and like I said, should be shouted back.
So
into his soul.
33 is
Young.
entitlement. It's
Yeah.
it's an entitlement thing.
I'm a
You-
big
you
boy
better
now. I'm a
ask-
big boy now.
Right, you asked me to come around. It's like, no, tell him to move around. It's like
Anyone who wants to parse whether the end of the sentence went
up or down.
or down,
Deserves all of his money back in change for the rest of his life. Banned for 2 years and shouted into a hole in social media.
you know what?
that's
And you
fine.
shouldn't be eating that food anyway, you dummy.
That's the show. 1/3
show.
Yang, 2/3 us.
1/3 Jimmy O Yang, 2/3 Dumb People Town. Thank you, Jimmy. He's going to come back and do a full one with us. He had a lot of stuff to
sure.
do. So
Yeah.
check out Space Force and definitely check out his stand-up special.
Watch us on Thursday night at the Nowhere Comedy Club. Go to eventbrite.com, Night of 1,000 Scars. You can see Daniel do his new stand-up is so funny. We have a bunch of new bits in there as well. It's going to be a really super fun night. Tickets are going, so get
And
them.
coming up in the next couple of weeks, we've got we're gonna have a mini episode with Nate Craig. I'm very excited about Michael Ian Black. We're gonna have him. come
Jeff
on to it.
Ross,
Jeff Ross
the
is gonna
roast
do it.
master general.
Birbiglia is gonna do it at the end of this month. So lots of good people on the show coming up. We have lots of good stuff for you. And oh shit, we got to get back to work.
Dum 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 dum. Stick around, make a sound, hunker down. It's Dumb People Town.
Scarpins Avenue.
A podcast network.